Welcome to the Leadership Labs with DeepRec.ai, a podcast where we delve into the fascinating world of deep tech entrepreneurship, company founders and venture capitalists. I'm your host, Anthony Kelly, and I'm thrilled to have you join us in this exciting journey. In each episode, we explore the minds behind groundbreaking technologies, the visionaries who dare to push the boundaries of innovation, and the investors who fuel the growth of tomorrow's game changers. Hello everyone, and welcome to this installment of the Leadership Lab. Today's guest is Simon Müller, who is the CTO at Wattx. In this episode, he's going to tell us all about Wattx, what they do, how that they look to set companies up for success through their venture, and how that they actually work with them to set goals. But yeah, Simon, great to have you. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Good. Before we jump into it and talk about what Wattx do and how you help build companies, tell us a little bit about you. What's your background been like?
My background is, I want to say, quite varied. So I have a degree in computer engineering, which is basically already like the interface between computer science and electrical engineering. A PhD in mechanical engineering, which is mostly due to the fact that everything that is robotics and Industry 4.0 is mostly in this like mechanical area. So I like to operate at different interfaces, and you could say in a bad way that I was never able to decide, and phrasing it in a good way is I have a lot of interests. But yeah, I think if you think about robotics, and you think about, okay, you need hardware, you need software, and you need definitely wiring in between. And this is, I think, the aspects that I've always liked. And after graduating my PhD, I basically used the skills to move more towards the software side of things. So basically everything that is related to IT systems that you usually see in production. So everything that is now called, or back then called Industry 4.0, which has also evolved quite a lot, was the topic that I co-founded a startup with a couple of colleagues in that was in the like planning of production processes, optimization of production, which is a very interesting topic and has a lot of aspects of machine learning and AI to it. After like building and exiting this startup, I got to know more of the German Mittelstands, because they previously were a bit of our customer base, and I already interacted quite a lot with them. And I built the digital lab of a German Mittelstands company. Mittelstands companies are these like usual German hidden players, hidden champions, you can say. So companies with more than 1,000 employees that no one knows, because they do these products that are behind everything. So milling, for example, is quite an interesting topic. You'd never think of that milling has anything to do. You think of milling as something that happened in the like medieval ages, where you had to grind things to be small, but you still have to grind things. So, and if you've once tasted like sugar that was like really coarse versus really fine grained sugar that was used to produce, for example, a chocolate bar, then you know that there can be quite a difference, and that these players really make a huge difference in the industry. And this basically got me entangled in the Mittelstand, and I was fortunate to build a couple of really interesting tech product in the industrial IoT space with them, and this helped me move to my current destination, Wattx. Wattx is a company builder. It has emerged from the Fissmann transformation. So we build companies for other companies, basically. So we build startups that are innovative, and we build them in quite a variety of fields, usually with the German Mittelstand, and we help build them, we help ramp them up, and I do this together with my co-founder Anne. We always set up we always set up in a way that we have like a technical managing director and a business managing director. So this is something that we always do. I think we have to stop possibly because I said co-founder, I think, which is wrong.
Yeah, do you want to just say it again?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Where did I leave?
Well, you finished it. You said that you wanted to go back because you said co-founder.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna go back. Gonna go back to basically this led me, or my station after building the digital transformation unit, I went on to move to Wattx, and Wattx is a company builder. It's the company builder that has emerged out of the Fissmann transformation. I lead this together with my co-managing director Anne. Anne is the business side of things, while I am more on the tech side, and we are always set up in a way. All of our teams, all of our mentality is that we address everything from at least these two perspectives. Usually, not only these two, but quite some more. So we have tech on the one hand side and business on the other hand side, and in the middle there's the like glue that is product, that is UX, that is design, and all of these different disciplines are what basically makes up Wattx and makes Wattx what it is, this like interdisciplinary thing.
I want to ask, again, before we dive into too much more about Wattx. Firstly, how does the role differ compared to other positions that you've had? A company builder versus a company.
A company builder, to me, from a larger perspective, it's mostly I think the leverage that you have as a company builder and as a person working at a company builder is much higher. So as a tech person, I could build any product, and I would be happy to build any product that has a meaning to me. But as a company builder, I can build companies that build products. So the leverage that this has is of course quite huge, but it also entails that since there's quite a few different ideas that you can currently follow, even if you limit yourself to like certain topics that you're interested in, or that you think will have value in the future. There are so many different companies that you think need to be built, and the variety can range, or a usual day can range from you talk in the morning about how to build the next industrial IoT platform for pumps, and in the afternoon, you talk about how to get influencers for a certain platform that targets sustainability aspects, and this is, as you can imagine, quite a variety of different tests. And even if you're limited to tech, no matter which discipline you currently explore, there's so much variety, so much things that you can explore, and you have to multiply this by the domains that you can go into. You do not have the the advantage anymore that you can say, okay, I'm now focusing on natural language processing, or now I'm focusing on vision, on image. But you have to be like constantly aware of all the trends that are going on, and all the different things that you can use to explore new endeavors for your ventures. So this is, I think, one of the most challenging tasks.
Nice, good. And so, look, I know quite a couple of the ventures that have come out from Wattx. I know the guys from Hasty quite well. I've met the guys from Status and Devio before. I guess if we're looking at building a company, collectively, Wattx have done it several times over the last couple of years. You've done it before AI was cool, when AI was cool, and even now. Even though AI is all the hype, it's still pretty difficult to get that money or to get that access to VC funds to continue your growth. Has the Wattx strategy changed over this time, or how do you still look to build a company for success?
I think yes, we all have changed quite drastically of the time, and I think if you do not change, if you do not adapt to new conditions, you're basically wrong, because I think venture building should be at the forefront of innovation, and should always embrace the newest methodologies, the newest ways to do something. And you have to explore different ways, because also different startups require different strategies to be successful. So the simplest case is if you build something together with founders, you always need partners. Which partners do you choose? Do you choose strategic partners that can give you access to certain markets, or do you need a lot of money? Then you would rather go into a probably VC financed case. And all of these have different aspects to it, different partners that you need to be working with. So we're constantly exploring, constantly extending, and our network, the people that we work with, the people that we build up. And it's and yeah, I mean, this is something that I think is also necessary to stay relevant, to also always question yourselves, which capabilities do you need? Why do you limit yourself? Do you do hardware development, or do you limit yourself to software? What about the sustainability space? What aspects does it entail? How do you build yourself up to be sustainable? To also make sure that your ventures are sustainable, when reflecting on that, probably the structure and the people that you have will reflect on the ventures that you're building. So yes, I think changing is a necessary requirement, while still at least maintaining some sort of true sense to yourself, and maintaining what you the purpose, the kind of sense that you know what you want to achieve.
How does it work with Wattx? Are you ideation first, or are you people first?
People first is I think the best way, because there are so many great ideas out there, but the people have to stay have to be behind it. We are always, of course, on the lookout regarding interesting ideas, and in the process, we are on the one hand usually exploring also together with partners certain spaces. So we either explore ourselves, for example, in one of our hackathons, where we look at specific domains, for example, some sort of carbon technology that we think might be an interesting case in the future. And if we start exploring that, then we usually go into more depth, and hopefully find interesting aspects in there that people are interested in. Or sometimes also partners approach us with, hey, we've got this great technology that we've developed over the past 100 years, and we want to do something new with it. Can we partner, and can we build something out of it together? And it always I mean, in the end, there will always hopefully be a great idea. That's not always a great idea. Sometimes it's also just that we say no, that was a path we went down to, but this is like a market that's oversaturated. There's not much to do in there, but usually there's at least like one idea where we think, okay, that'll probably work, but in the end someone has to do it. And in the past we've also said no to certain topics because the idea was good, but we didn't see a fit to any one of ourselves, and we didn't see that any one of us wanted to do it. And if no one of us wants to do it, then this is usually for us a sign that we shouldn't do it, because it's the people who matter in the end, in the execution.
Nice, like that. So yeah, let's say someone comes with you get the people, there's potential ideas on the table. How much do you do product market fit, or do you do a bunch of research first, or do you do a bunch of prototyping first, or how do you look to create that sort of early excitement?
All of the above. As you can imagine, I think I could show you like a slideshow and walk you through this product process in either in a couple of minutes. I can also extend it to a couple of hours. But I mean, in a nutshell, it's basically three phases. The first one is what we call a research sprint. In the research sprint, we are in the like exploratory space, so we move from problem to solution space in general, but we kind of explore everything that is in a certain sector, and we limit ourselves by just stating a general topic. So yeah, as I mentioned, for example, carbon capture could be like a space, and this space that has like a large problem space and an even larger solution space, and this is in the end what we explore, and where we try to find like first ideas and do first validations, what we could do in this space. And moving from that on, we go to an idea validation. Idea validation is a much more intense process. We have like a checklist of I want to say over 100 different fields that we need to check. We do like an intense investigation of the market, of the competitors, and there we draw up landscape that shows how the different actors in this field work, depending on the topic. We focus either one of the like three main three plus one main criteria. So the three main criteria are desirability, viability, and feasibility. Plus, we always do sustainability as well, because at least although it's at least partially part of the others, we always try to do everything a bit more sustainable than usual. So these are the like four areas that we explore, and in these like four different areas, you have like different. You can imagine that different disciplines play different roles. So a quantum computer will be much more on the like feasibility exploration than on the desirability exploration, because you need to make sure that the things that you're building are feasible. Desirable is something that you could assume for a solution like that. And once we've done that, we move to the like third phase, which is the actual building. So in the phase before, we might have already built like a prototype or landing page or something to show people, but in the next one, we're then really building and showing people and rolling out the solution gradually up until the point where we found the new venture, and where we move people, or where people move towards the venture, usually also accompanied by other people that join this like newly found venture.
Good. So good process into, I guess, going from ideation to product. So let's let's go on to the next stage. Let's talk about, you have your team, you're setting these goals for them. If they're not involved in a venture and you have someone as part of the Wattx team, what does their goals look like? Are they different to that of what might be a possible venture?
And generally, we set we as a company set our goals in a way that that the outcome is a venture. So basically, we are a company builder, and our main goal is building companies, and this basically then also reflects into all different disciplines that support basically this process. So in the end, this is our overarching goal, that we build not as much ventures as possible, but that we build meaningful ventures, and that we try to really build something. And this you can easily translate. We build ventures into every discipline, because as I mentioned, in the different phases, in the ideation or in the research sprint, ideas need to be explored. Basically everyone can help in there. In the different evaluations, desirability, feasibility, there different people are involved, and in the building as well. Even or tech people, for example, are the people responsible mostly for building, and you can easily translate this into something that is also then in their goal spectrum.
Okay, cool. When or does the support from Wattx stop? Right. So as I said, good example here. We've got Hasty AI. Tristan's been on the podcast. They've been acquired. But up until when or what point are Wattx, I guess, supporting on them? When can they lean on you for help?
It depends on how you define support. I mean, Tristan was just 2 weeks ago. He was still at our Wattx alumni barbecue, and we chatted about different options to explore for his company in one way or the other. Is this support? Is this collaboration, or is this friendly chatter? So basically, it is of course different from when they were still part of Wattx, when we were all building hasty together, and where there was more of the team involved, and more of the Wattx team involved than it is now. But I think that like a constant working together and building a culture of collaboration with your ventures not only sets them up for success, but also sets up for success, because we are much closer to much more variety of topics. We also build on our venture on our existing ventures to build our new ones, especially if there's capabilities where we know that Hasty is very is great in certain image recognition topics for detecting landscapes. We've built on that knowledge to at least explore a certain path in the agriculture industry long time after they had left Wattx. We usually set up the ventures that they are independent, that they can stand up on their own feet. So if you want to say if you want to have a separation point, then I would say the founding of the company plus a couple of weeks up until a month, depending on handover and ramping up, is usually the way that or the separation point, because in the end we know that they have to stand on their own feet and should rely on their people, should build their own culture that they want. And I think this was also something that Tristan is quite good at exploring, these different cultural aspects that a team can have. I think he is also quite an interesting opinion in that, and I think this is the dynamic that you can only build if you like build up your own company, and if you're not depending and not connected too much to any other company. But I think losing connection to any of our ventures is both disadvantage for us and for our ventures as well. So we try to stay always in contact and collaborate as much as possible.
Yeah, that's good. And I guess one thing that I'd like to ask, let's say, sort of more specifically about, right? It's a lot of AI companies come out of ideation, research, all the research that they've done, they might still struggle with coming to the market with a go-to market strategy of sales and marketing. Is that anything that you've experienced with? Can you lead them down the right paths? Considering there's been a handful of Wattx companies that have come out as well.
Yeah, and I think this is at least one of the things where we can build on a variety of knowledge, because as I mentioned, our origin is not only like the startup space, but the combination of startup and Mittelstand space. So we have much deeper connection to Mittelstand, and I think understand Mittelstand much better than a lot of startups, because Mittelstand has on the one hand, it has been a source of inspiration for a century. So it has built great products, especially in the mechanical engineering space, but it's not necessarily known for its digital exploration and digital capabilities. So there's something that these companies are really, they are great in where they come from and what they've built and what they are still producing, but they're also very, very unique in the internal structure where they function and how they work. And since we know both sides, I think we can more easily navigate the space. We know what a lot of stakeholders in these companies look at, what they're interested in, how sales work, how sales incentives work, because you can imagine an easy example, selling a lot of these companies sell large machines. So a large machine, let's say it costs $1 million. If you incentivize salespeople by, let's say, 2% of the sales value, this is 20,000 if they sell a machine, which is great. If they sell an additional subscription bundle for 29 euros per month, this is great for the startup. But even if you sell 100 of these licenses, this doesn't add, and this is maybe a couple of bottles of beer on top of the 20,000 that they get from the sales incentive. And this is how a lot of these companies still function. And this is something that you have to address early in your selling perspective, in your how to build your value proposition, who to involve in building your product and in addressing the needs of your product in order to be successful in the market. And this was also, of course, only one chunk of knowledge that we have in this wide variety of people, processes that you can find in the Mittelstand.
Okay, nice. So I want to say now, looking back over the last 2 years, is there or has there been any sort of common themes that you would say have resulted in success for one of your ventures? And I mean, you can put it down to research, you can put it down to people. I mean, I just really like to see, because we've had 1 year which was arguably a boom year, and 1 year which has arguably been the toughest VC year in the last 10 years. So yeah, I mean, has there been anything that has consistently worked or not worked?
I think consistently working is something you can, and you addressed goals earlier. And I think having goals is something that that every company should have. And this is great for thinking about short-term things that you want to achieve. But, and I know this has been said probably too often, but I think underlying values is, I think, much more important than having goals, and also hiring for these like underlying values. And these underlying values that you hire for, especially if you hire for a company builder, these need to be much more than what you usually look at. So you need much more. Okay, ownership is of course one of the things that everyone states, but ownership meaning that you really dive deep into things that might at the beginning not be part of your interest, but is something where you can see potentially an interest growing, is something that you need. And this like exploratory sense, this bit of courage as well to jump into like the cold water, and to, if you confront it with a topic. So let's say I confront you with the topic, you need to design a new or you need to build a new venture for wind turbines. So what's your first reaction? You first have no idea about wind turbines, or if there's even a market for wind turbines anymore, or if these are not things that have been built anyway. So you have this resistance, and the people that and at Wattx, we try to find those that can like easily jump over that resistance and just jump deeply into this topic, and think about, okay, what might be new regulations that are coming up. And then you come into topics and you see, okay, wind is actually something that could very in a great way complement the current developments that are going on in the solar sector, because wind is blowing in the winter, solar is in the summer, so you can easily build something much more for a household. Okay, and there are these like these new mini turbines that you can even build into your own backyard. So is this something maybe that you could dive into? Let's ask a couple of customers and a couple of homeowners and dive. And this is something, this drive, this like it's hard to bring down to like a single word, but this is, I think, much more than that what you need to be on the lookout for, and that you need to build new companies. And yeah, this would be like a theme that I see that can set you up for success if you build on these not very well formulated values.
Yeah, nice. And what about yourself over the last 2.5 years? What would you say you've personally upskilled at or learned the most?
What I've learned the most is something that you could have easily anticipated if you just think about it rationally. But you know that every startup has their like ups and downs, and every you always go on the high and go on the low. And if you are turns out if you're building startups, then you don't have this like ups and downs just once for your startup sec, but you multiply this with the amount of ventures that are going on, so that you if you're exploring like 5 different ideas at the same time, you have these like ups and downs for 5 ones simultaneously. And this can easily easily create tension, challenges in an environment that constantly need to be like tackled, or that you need to at least be aware of. You need to be aware of that. Okay, I'm now in a down phase, but there will be an up phase again. This is something that definitely I've learned to cope with more better than before, maybe.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I guess it's kind of like you're the team manager, and your team members are just more demanding than ever, right?
Might be.
I wanted to talk to you. Obviously, with the connection to Mittelstadt and Wattx to Weissman, they would be considered traditional German companies. We're now riding the AI wave. There's no doubt about it. I mean, even search engine history is up like 1,000% in 2023, right? And I thought we were reaching the peak last year, but it's got bigger with ChatGPT. But I mean, look, what is the impact of these generative AIs on traditional German companies, or even I guess if we want to go back off and start like first off, what's the impact that they're having on German companies, and then how are traditional companies missing out on it?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, with the first question, or with the second question, you're a little bit anticipating the answer of the first one. So there are different ways. You had these front runners that are using a lot of the new models and that are allowing a lot of them, but there are few of them. And even digital companies, or the ones that I would consider digital, are more prohibitive than expected. I wanna say, because especially if you use like the commercial licenses, that they won't, or they state that they won't use your data, but companies are still very restrictive. So ranging from they ban sites like ChatGPT completely up until, okay, yes, certain computers, you may use it from certain computers that are very limited network access. You can find everything. I think a lot of companies are still interested and are hoping to kind of what they might have missed out on the first digital wave, to make up for this with the like new generative AI wave, because they see a lot of potential in the like knowledge that it can generate, or knowledge that can be within these systems, because a lot of these traditional companies have the challenge of the aging worker society. So a lot of very experienced people having left or leaving in the upcoming years with only fewer to replace them, and not having the time to manage the knowledge transfer from the leaving people to the like new people. And they hope that this will be something that can help. And I think if the tools evolve in a good way and the companies evolve with them, then this is something that can definitely help in this regard. But yeah, sadly, at least in Europe, I see a lot of discussion going on. Sadly is the wrong word, because I also see the advantages of having regulation, but over regulation can lead to us being or the EU being superseded in a technology once more, because we restrict too much.
Nice. Ready to jump into the quick fire questions?
Yes, sure.
Go ahead. Let's kick it off with number one. It doesn't have to be both, but a book or podcast or content that you would recommend for other listeners here.
I recently read Human Compatible by Stuart Russell, which of course is an AI book. But I found it very interesting to read. And Stuart Russell, as one of the like great AI authors of the past, with like this classical Russell Norvig, which was like the book on AI, or still is the book on AI in general, wrote a book that is much more easily readable and much more society related, and explores a different wide variety of the implications that AI can have. It's not new. I think it's from 2021 or so, but I just recently read it, and it had a lot of interesting aspects. I do not listen to much podcasts anymore. I must say, because I mostly listen to books nowadays. But other than yours, of course, I listen to Programmierbar, which is in German. But at least for German listeners, this can be quite an interesting one.
Nice. What would you say your 3 non-negotiables are when it comes to leadership?
To leadership, 3 non-negotiables. I want to say I can again state the fact that you need values, and I think my most, if I state 3 values, then I want to say ownership, courage, and one that I did not mention yet was humbleness. And I want to say humbleness, groundedness might be even the one that for a leader I find the most important one, because you see a lot of people on their high horses, especially old white men like me, that have lost basically the touch to tech, the touch to people, the touch to everything. And I think humbleness, groundedness could solve a lot of problems in leadership.
Nice. I like that you mentioned ownership. It came in as someone's non-negotiables on an episode here, a guy called Dimitri. And he's also recommended a book to me. It arrived in the post on Monday, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willing.
So read that. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward, because ever since I've heard about it, I've been constantly getting recommended it, which is great. So hopefully I'll know all about it soon. And lastly, Simon, to finish it off, if you could go back and change something, what would it be?
I could go back to where?
That's it. You can go back to college. You can go back to your first job.
I think one thing I see current interns at our company do much more and do much better than I did, was exploring different sites and kind of exploring what they want to become in the end. This is something that I loved the internships that I did, but back then this was something that was like part of the study program that you had to do, and I must say I didn't think about it strategically. And nowadays, if I see the young people joining and having like a plan, okay, I'm going to be 3 months at a VC, I'm going to 3 months at a company builder, and 3 months at a startup, and I see that's a great plan. That's why didn't I come up with something like that? In the end, you will know how these different companies are going to work, and you're going to know which kind of industry you want to be working in, which kind of company you want to be working in. And this would be something I would definitely recommend my younger self to explore more.
Lovely, Simon, and that takes us to the end of the episode. Been an absolute pleasure having you here, and thanks everyone for listening to this episode of the Leadership Labs with Simon, the CTO and Managing Director at Wattx. Simon, thank you.
Thanks again for having me, Anthony.
That concludes another enlightening episode of the Leadership Labs podcast. If you found today's episode thought-provoking and informative, be sure to subscribe to the Leadership Labs on your preferred podcast platform or on YouTube. Thank you once again for joining us on this journey through the Leadership Labs. Until next time.